Okay, so next, this is another super long segment. Bryan Danielson, for some reason, went 12 minutes and 28 seconds with Lee Moriarty. And Wrestling Today, I got to go on the internet and people are talking about how great the Daniel Bryan Lee Moriarty match is.
Let me just say something real quick before you read this.
Right.
So, you know how everybody has to come out with somebody to give them a rub, right? Or be part of a group?
Mm-hmm.
This Moriarty guy came out with Matt Sydal. Right? And I'm thinking to myself, Matt, maybe you should catch a rub first before you try to give any or a rub. You know what I'm saying?
I think the reason they came out together was to tell the story that maybe Bryan Danielson might try to pick them up and like him and Moxley might train them or something. I don't know. But Bryan Danielson won. He made Lee Moriarty look way better. After the match, Bryan asked for a microphone. He said he came out here to teach Moriarty a thing or two about violence. He wanted to know if he thought he passed or failed. They didn't react much. Bryan said he doesn't trust the American public with anything. He then continued and said that wasn't the reason he had the microphone. He recalled asking Jon Moxley to team up with him to teach Moriarty about violence and said he wanted an answer. Jon Moxley made his way to the ring through the crowd but took a sweet time getting there, and Mox eventually grabbed the microphone, said a little over a decade ago he was like that Lee Moriarty kid. He was young, poor, had nothing to lose. He took a shot at the Great American Dragon, Bryan Danielson. He told the story about their indie match and how Bryan had travel delays and showed up late to the arena in his wrestling gear. Bro, this was already losing me when they started talking about stuff like this. I could not care less about this. Maxwell said he came up short against the best wrestler in the world. He's had more shots at Bryan Danielson but never beaten him. Mox said when he showed up in AEW, everyone else was scared of the best wrestler of all time, but he saw it as an opportunity to put the one head in the wall he's never taken down. But now the Dragon doesn't want to fight him. If he wants to join him. Moxley talked about all the skulls they could crack and the dynasty they could create to give back to AEW. And Moxley said he tried but couldn't think of one good reason to say no. But then he got to thinking and it occurred to him that Bryan wants to join him because he doesn't want to find himself across from him. If that's the case and he's already beat him while pointing to his head, he then asked Bryan if he wants to join him because of what they could create or because he's afraid of him. Moxley continued and said he's not saying yes, he's not saying no, and Moxley said he's leaving it up to Bryan, but he's not standing side by side with anyone until he bleeds with them first. And he left the ring and walked through the crowd. And the funniest thing about this was JR overselling this segment to try to make it sound like it was like something epic. And I thought that if you go back and watch this, listen to the out and like how JR is talking on the out. He's really trying to put this over. But to me, this is like, I don't know. What do you guys think of this?
I thought this was a good match, but I'm not interested in Moriarty, so I didn't care. This is not a TV match I want to see, and the ratings might be indicative of that. You know, yeah. I like the in-ring, bro, because you can tell that this guy writes his own. This isn't being written for him. So right? I did like the in-ring. It's very interesting. Where is this going to go?
Is it?
And so I'm intrigued. Yeah, I am.
What's what interests you about this? They're either going to team up or fight
because
each other.
They might fight and join up somehow. I'd like to see them join up.
Yeah, that intrigues
they're going to fight at pay-per-view.
That intrigues me. And if they
don't,
they're going to be hot.
Yeah, I think if Danielson wins, then Moxley's going to like entertain the offer. That's basically what he's saying, I think.
Yeah, they're just saying they want to fight together first, but the place was live. The energy in there when that was like the Moriarty, he's decent, but you can tell throughout the whole match that Bryan was just carrying him along and really.
Bryan's been incredible on the mic and in the ring. He's been on a whole nother level, dude.
Yeah, even though Bryan's a heel and he didn't win underhandedly, he won cleanly, but he was still a about it. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So I like that.
He's been great. Bro, this guy's been great. He knows his role. He's been great. Everything they asked him to do, he's done, and I have a lot of respect for him.
I just don't want to watch Bryan, face all these AEW dark jobbers every week. I could care less.
Nobody cares. Nobody cares.
I like how your hair is kind of like his.
You remember last time, Konnan, I had this nice mullet? I cut the mullet. It's all gone.
It's a tragedy.
Right, so